Welcome to Zach and Steve Have a Podcast. I'm Zach.
I'm Steve. Welcome.
Welcome. Are we starting?
Yeah, we started.
You were just staring at me
I was.
awkwardly.
I said.
Usually there's a countdown.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that because I wanted to see who would pull the trigger first. And
It was me.
You straight up Aaron Bird that.
I just went for it.
You did.
Aaron Bird.
You Aaron Bird me.
You did.
You're the Aaron Bird of my Alexander Hamilton.
Yep. I gotcha. Yes.
That happened long ago enough now that we can talk about it.
Yeah, there's a musical about it.
Yeah,
right?
there's a musical.
all
Everything. Speaking of musicals.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's
Zachy.
kind of a lead-in.
Yeah, well, it was not a great lead-in.
No.
But it was a lead-in nonetheless.
It was a lead-in.
It's one that we're going to have to take. You're going to have to accept it. It's my gift.
Thank you.
All right. Last night, Zach, you had night one
Yes.
of The Little Mermaid
Yes.
live on stage.
Yes. West Middlesex High School.
You
Junior
want to give
high.
that much information
Oh,
out?
sure. Why, might as well. There's all kinds of Little Mermaids out there going on.
Yeah. Is there like a deal going on?
I don't know.
Like hey, if we can get a whole county to do it,
It's everybody's doing it.
4 schools locally are doing it,
Yes.
which makes me believe that at least 10,000 schools across the country are doing The Little Mermaid. If I'm doing my math right.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I'm doing my math. Now, Zach, were you ever in musicals when you were a kid?
This was my first musical.
This is your first musical experience.
First time experience.
Experience.
And it
your
was great. I
musical.
didn't know what I always did sports as a kid and growing
Yeah.
up through high school. So I had that experience of being in a locker room and
Yeah.
you still have the idea of people coming to watch you
Yeah.
perform.
Yes.
Right? It's
Yes.
just a different type of performance. And so I have that to look back to in my high school days is a way of performing in front of the community. This is completely different and equally exciting.
That is exciting. So you're a full-blown thespian now?
Yes. My acting chops aren't I didn't have to be out there on the stage, but I got to do stuff that was seen on the stage.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It
So you went and watched. What was your opinion?
I took my daughters and
Yes.
my wonderful wife.
So the 4 of the Mikulski clan.
For the 7,
Yes.
6. I know math. I don't.
I thought maybe you had a pet or
That's
something.
not. Yeah, there's a dog there too. No, and that's no hint like we're having another child. No, that's not happening. We never talked about that story.
Uh-oh.
You remember that,
No.
Zach? Remember COVID?
Yes.
2020.
Yeah.
You and I went to Taco Bell. Met in a parking lot because we couldn't hang out together.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
we still went to Taco Bell together.
Yeah.
And you said something about having you guys ever planning on having another baby?
Yeah.
And we were already pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. And you couldn't say anything.
I was like, and I was like, You're like, and like, still, you didn't figure it out.
Oh, I figured it out. I was just playing it up.
No,
So
you did
yes,
not.
Yes, I did.
That's not how the story went. That's not how the story
That's how
went.
the story went in your mind.
No. Maybe. I don't know. I forget how it all went down. But you were like, yeah, you knew before almost anybody because you asked the very blunt question: are you guys having another kid?
Yeah.
Or you guys planning on having another baby? Oh, well, I mean, if it happens, I guess. Meanwhile, Pete's already
Yeah.
baking in the oven.
Yep.
He's already on his way.
Yep.
And now we know that he's a sourdough.
Pete. We all love Pete.
Petey. That kid, he's something else. Anyway, so yeah, I went to the musical last night with my kids, with Tessa and with Ava. Oh my goodness.
You all right over
Can't
there?
remember my children's names. Tessa and Ava, and then Sarah, and we thoroughly enjoyed
Oh, really?
the musical.
Great.
Okay, I'm not lying when I say this.
Okay.
All right, so I've been a youth pastor for a long time.
Yes.
And in that, there's this responsibility to go to musicals.
Yes. But you enjoy going to musicals.
No, that's not true. I enjoy musicals.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily enjoy going
Yes.
to a
Because
musical.
the thing about high school musicals is they're usually really long and really hot.
They're just long, and they're not well AC'd. All right,
Yes.
and we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
So my experience going to these has always been like, oh gosh, this is 3 hours.
Yeah.
This is a commitment.
Yeah.
This is not a football game.
Yes.
This is a commitment to a show.
Yes.
But no, I was I was thoroughly impressed, and I'm not just saying this because you're my friend and your daughter was in it. I'm saying this based on having seen, I think, at least 30 musicals over the past 10 years. That was the best production I've ever seen. Now, I cannot include Linkin Park in that as a performing arts school. That's unfair.
Right.
All right? That doesn't include that. They're like semi-pro.
Yes.
Whatever. Those kids are going into acting.
Right.
Whatever. But of what would be like just a true high school musical.
Yeah.
The best one.
Oh yeah.
The best one.
What made it the best one?
Well, number one, I would say across the board.
Yeah.
The singing was some of the best I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Dead serious. Not making that up. Was everything perfect? No, it can't be. It's high school.
Right.
And that's fine. That's expectations. But those kids gave it their all.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like the sets were, like having that background was really cool. And I'm serious. I'm not messing when I say this. Having the addition of like the fly work, you guys in the back pulling those kids up and down, letting them fly across the stage or swim or whatever.
Yeah.
That
it added to it.
That added a ton to it.
Yeah.
And I sat there. I'm like, what would these schools do if they didn't have this?
Yeah.
Like, would they just be standing on the stage like the seagulls are like, and, like they're not moving?
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with the fact that like a lot of those costumes you guys had to come up with last minute.
Yeah.
Like, so how did you guys get a lot of those costumes? Were they made?
Yes. Like they had just parents making them. Some of them were like, oh, we have this old costume. So there's some ensemble pieces like the Under the Sea where they just made a bunch of fish costumes.
Best part of the whole show too.
The Under the Sea.
Under the Sea was the best part.
Yeah, it was fun.
Kid that played Sebastian.
He was good. Yeah.
Was he a pro? Did you guys?
No.
Did you guys send out for him?
No.
He like the basketball player that's like 7 foot tall, but he plays for your school?
He's good.
And he's living in the real nice house.
No, that's not it.
He's driving a Bentley.
No, we got a couple real good actors at West Middlesex.
I would say so. It's funny because West Middlesex is a small community.
Yeah.
It's not
big at all.
It's not big in the least.
Yeah, a couple of them.
And I've been to several West Middlesex musicals over the years. That was the one.
That was the one. Nice.
That was the one.
Oh,
they
good.
Crushed it. Crushed it. Everybody did a great job. Every kid did a great job. There was nobody that half-hearted it.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of yelling.
Yeah.
I don't like being yelled at. But that was when we were waiting to get our seats.
Ah, okay. Somebody yelled at you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Didn't appreciate it.
Uh-oh. That's
Zach.
not good. I'm sorry. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was Zach. It was Zach out in the parking lot.
No, I was in the back. I was a flying father.
So you were running around. You were a proud dad.
Yeah, I was.
They made you guys T-shirts.
Yeah, we had
that
T-shirts.
said the Flying Dads.
Yeah, Flying Fathers on it.
And you guys it was like guys with fishing poles.
Yes, catching aerials.
It looked like you caught children on a fishing hook. I knew what they were going for.
Yeah,
but it looked like those kids might have been in pain on the shirt. No, it was like a silhouette.
Yes,
those were really funny shirts. I thoroughly enjoyed them. And Zach, you do this thing now. Like it's like your go-to thing.
What?
You put like that T-shirt hoodie underneath every black shirt.
Yes.
And it's like, how'd you get a hoodie? And everybody, and it's like, oh, you blended it.
Yes.
Good job.
My thing. Yes, I've got
That is your thing.
I found a nice hoodie that I like. That's just very lightweight.
Yep.
And it can go underneath T-shirts.
Yep.
And if I wear a black T-shirt, I wear that a lot. Just as it makes it a hoodie.
Good job.
But when you're backstage and you have to wear black, and it just was very.
I never saw you.
Yeah, I disappeared into the curtain.
That's good backstage work.
Thank you, appreciate that.
That's the best way to do backstage work is not to be seen.
Yes.
Only your work is seen. You're the master now.
Well, good. That makes us. The kids put in tons of hard work, so it's always good.
They should be proud. They should be proud of the work that they did. I'm dead serious. Not just saying that.
Well, good.
Because listen, I've seen some stinkers.
Yes,
I've seen some stinkers, and I'm like, I'm never getting those hours back.
It helps.
My life.
It helps when you know songs and know because there's some musicals you go to and I've never heard a song in it.
Well, that's the thing, and I find this modern musicals I like much more than
like Bye Bye Birdie and Showboat.
Yes,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma's okay, but I think it's once again because I know some of the songs. I think it's why it's more iconic. But like some of those, it's like how to succeed in business without really trying. I'm like, oh, or Fairly Modern Millie, stuff like that. I'm like, why? Why are you still doing this? Do a Disney one.
Yeah.
I want to know the songs.
Yeah.
And you add in those other songs that don't really make sense at all.
Yeah.
It's like, why are those seagulls so happy right now?
Yeah.
Ariel's like, she might be dead.
Yeah, she's like trying to walk.
And they're like dancing still. I'm like, are they that bird-brained?
Anyway, that was a good.
I enjoyed it.
A summary of what I've been working on for the last couple months, because we've been talking about the musical for a while now.
It's like, this is the culmination. And my big question for you now is, Zach, like, where does your life go from here?
Goes back to normal.
Does it go back to normal?
Goes back to having time to do stuff, because we've had dress rehearsals and all kinds of stuff for a really long time.
Yeah.
So my voice is kind of shot.
You didn't look exhausted like last night. It wasn't like you had a long week. But you do this thing, like, I'm sure you had like a single M&M and then your heart went into palpitations or something.
That's the way it goes.
And you were ready to go. You were in blast off mode.
Yeah.
I could see it on your face. It was like game time for Zach.
Yeah, you fed me chocolate milk. We had a meeting on Sunday.
Oh, my goodness.
You fed me some chocolate milk.
Oh, my goodness.
It got me going.
One of my favorite odd Zach moments of all time. Like, Zach is that guy where he can't handle sugar or caffeine.
It gets me like shaky.
And I never realized this about you, but you're not like much of a sweets guy.
Not really, no.
You're like, you...
I'm a salty, savory
you like
snack
savory
kind of
snacks, and you like that's your thing.
My thing. Yeah,
I'm a sweets guy.
Yeah,
like I could do without. I mean, I need meat sometimes. There's points in my life where I've just said to Sarah, I'm like, I need meat right now. I am protein deprived or something. Something's wrong.
You're trying to work out, and it's just nothing's
nothing's working. It's like it's all sugar energy. I'm like a hummingbird. I'm like the hummingbird that's in the worst shape of his entire life.
It's trying to flap its wings.
It's a hummingbird.
Gives up. He's like,
it's a hummingbird that's just walking on the ground. Arms.
His wings are going. They're going like, instead of 100 beats per minute, they're going like 35.
Yeah,
he's just like,
I'm the hummingbird that's just trying to glide.
Yeah,
I'm jumping off of things. It's not working. That's my life.
You're trying to glide.
I'm the gliding hummingbird.
You're the hummingbird that wants to be an eagle.
Yeah,
that's supposed to soar around,
or wanting to be eaten by an eagle just to get it over with. It's getting depressing. What are you talking about? We were talking about the meeting and you chocolate milk, man. So Josie,
chocolate milk gets me going.
Yeah, seriously. Like, this is kind of sad. You and like a 6-year-old kid are both buzzing on chocolate milk the same way. So Zach at our meeting, backtrack. Josie brought in leftover cookies and cream chocolate milk. So Josie
has a farm.
Yeah, she has a creamery.
She does.
Where they milk cows, but they also produce milk.
Yeah.
For sell and stuff. So and they always have like special flavors of milk.
Yes.
And they made cookies and cream for her dad's 60th birthday.
Oh, I didn't realize it was for that.
Oh, you didn't know it was for Mark's 60th?
No.
Okay, so her dad turned 60.
Yeah.
And so they had a big celebration here at the church, and that was the leftovers.
Oh, okay.
The story goes is that
they added too much.
This was like super duper cookies and cream. So there's probably a little bit more sugar in it than normal.
Instead of cookies and cream, they were calling it cookies extreme.
Yeah, cookies extreme, which I thought, I was like, that's fantastic marketing.
But it was hyped up there a little bit with the sugar and the caffeine.
Wait a second. So Cyrus is drinking this like it's going out of style.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Now I kept myself to one.
Thick.
Yeah, it was. It was like eggnog thick.
Yeah. It was like drinking ice cream mix.
It was. So anyway, Cyrus has like 2 cups, maybe.
I don't know, 3, I think.
3 cups of this. Like I drank half a cup.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was very good, but it was very rich. And I was like, I have to be smart here. Zach shotgunned like 3 cups of this thing. It was just one after the other after the other. So he can see him like getting jazzed up. Like Zach's shaking. He's moving more than he normally does. He's tapping on everything. He's really excited.
Yeah.
And we're having a very serious meeting.
Yeah. I couldn't get any energy out.
Once a year, I have to go through some very heavy topics.
Yeah.
Because I'm mandated to do so as a youth pastor, and since we work with teenagers, and Zach is like shaking the whole time. I wish I could show you.
That's not true.
I wish I could show you how much Zach is moving around like Jeff Goldblum in his prime.
No,
like if you want to put it in your brain. So anyway, we're sitting there and we get to talking about our D Now weekend. We're talking about game time, and this is where Zach comes alive.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
He sat through the hour-long difficult part of the meeting, shaking.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I need to exude some of this energy. And so we're talking about games.
Yeah.
And one of our female leaders says something about a game she wants to play. What was that game, Zach?
She wants to do Clue.
Clue, yes, that's right. It's church-wide Clue. And Zach looks at her with the intensity, with the stare of the power of 1,000 suns.
Yes.
And goes, You do that! You'll be good, you!
It's kind of what I said.
Yeah! No, this is a summary. This is in summary.
Yeah.
You!
Yeah, you're making fun of me now. You keep texting me in capital letters with a bunch of exclamation points.
That was you.
Yeah.
I've never, and I knew exactly what you were going to say, and then you backed off because I was going to say the same thing. Well, yeah, I love when people have ideas.
Yes, but you go ahead and take it.
But yeah, please take lead on it. So don't give us more work.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, and I'm not saying she was doing that.
No.
She wasn't doing that at all. But this always happens when you're in ministry.
Yeah.
Somebody comes up with an idea and says, "Hey, you know what you guys should do?
Geocaching,
something." They're like, you guys should start this big organization and bring all these kids in and play basketball games. And then they're like, then they tell you that and expect you to go do it. But if you come in with an idea, you go do it. Yes.
You. And you got to get belligerent about it.
That's what I did. It's only because of the Cookies Extreme. But listen.
Cookies Extreme made Zach
I didn't. So what happened was I didn't want to overstep because you were leading the meeting.
How is that overstepping?
All right, yeah, we're partners in ministry, but you were leading the meeting, and you make final decisions on most things. So
that is my responsibility.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So she came up with this idea, and I was going to say, you have a great idea. You just go ahead and you plan it and you do all that stuff. So I start my thought, then I'm thinking, wait, Steve's the one who's got to make this final decision. Yeah. So I'm like,
I already had that in my mind. I'm like, oh, good, Zach's gonna tell her,
so I don't have to. Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
Instead of, he just goes on this it seemed like he was trying to pump somebody up, get them really excited, they had the best idea ever. It's believe in yourself. Zach was motivational speaker. Yeah. I appreciated it. I knew where your heart was at in it. And I was happy that you were going to say it because I was going to say it. But after that, I couldn't stop. So I looked around the table. Everybody's like, is he okay?
Are you all right, buddy?
Are you okay? He's like, you're like, I had a lot of this milk. You're the only person in the world that has that adverse of a reaction.
To chocolate milk. It was, to my defense, it was Cookies Extreme, Stephen. It was Cookies Extreme. It wasn't regular chocolate milk. It wasn't, true. What's that? True Life or Moo Life?
What are you talking about?
The fake milk.
This
was real chocolate milk, Stephen.
Are you talking about Lactaid?
I don't know what it is.
Lactaid's the milk free. That was the milk my grandma always drank.
Yeah,
it was disgusting.
Yeah, it's like the Yoo-hoo.
It wasn't even that, man. It had a powder in it or something.
Yeah.
To I think to make it thicker.
Wasn't good.
Well, the thing was, if you didn't know, if you weren't in the know, my grandparents were not good about keeping milk in their house when I was a child. They always had cereal.
This turned into milk talk.
That's fine.
Zach and Steve.
Welcome to Moo Moo Juice. This segment where we talk about all things milk and dairy related. So, at my grandparents' house.
Yeah.
Now, my grandpa, we've talked about in the past. He was a very frugal man.
Yeah.
He was very, very generous with his money. But when it came to like buying things for his house, he was frugal. And he never kept milk in the house. And at my house, we went through gallons like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's all. Did you guys do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, we had tons of milk.
Tons of milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, my grandparents, not so much because my grandma was lactose intolerant among
all the other things.
All the other things. Yeah. All the other billion other health issues. That weren't true. Anyway, so Lactaid.
Yeah.
You had to shake it up.
Ooh.
Otherwise it would settle.
Ugh.
And I got a big gulp of it one time.
Ooh.
And I about threw up.
Gross.
Then I had this bad thing in my mind about Lactaid from there on out. That was not a great story.
No.
Mike, here's the deal.
That was a downer story, Steve.
It's not really a downer.
It was.
Let me tell you another story about my grandparents' house.
Does it have to do with milk?
No, it has to do with bacon.
Bacon? Okay, yes. I'd love to hear the bacon story.
When I was a kid.
I'll talk about eggs next. We'll just have a whole breakfast talk.
Breakfast talk. Welcome to Breakfast Talk. Sponsored by Riders. Riders Restaurant.
Yeah.
You ready for some good home cooking? And you'll flip you a pancake. Riders. That's their spot.
Yeah.
I'll expect to get paid in 1 to 2 weeks. All right. Anyway.
Back to bacon at your grandparents.
Bacon at my grandparents. So I watched an episode of Home Improvement one time.
All right.
Okay? And that show was very influential on me, especially the kids.
Yes.
Because I was like, I can relate to these boys because I'm a boy. They're boys.
Yeah.
One episode, they're eating bacon.
Okay.
Like Dad's making breakfast. The bacon was real floppy. I thought it was uncooked bacon.
Ah.
I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So I went into my grandparents' fridge.
No, you didn't.
I'm dead serious.
You ate uncooked bacon?
I ate raw bacon.
Oh, man.
Not just one piece.
Oh.
I had one piece, and I was like, that was good.
Oh.
I went back for a couple more pieces.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did, until my grandma found out.
Did you have any, adverse effects to this?
No adverse effects whatsoever.
That's a lie.
Except for this bacteria that I've been dealing with now for 32 years.
Oh, that's gross.
It eats my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But besides that amoeba, I'm doing real good.
Yeah.
That was from the uncooked bacon. I'm dead serious though. I ate it. I had 0 problems, but that is not gross. A guarantee.
Don't eat uncooked bacon.
But that was
also
early
meat.
90s where bacon was safe.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, no, it was real safe then. It was kosher.
It was. Yeah.
Pigs can't be kosher, Zach.
They're not kosher. We done with breakfast talk yet, Steve?
Zach, you ever have an egg?
Yes, I did.
What's your favorite kind of egg? How do you like your egg?
How do I like my egg? I am more of a over easy kind of guy. Does that surprise
you at all?
Just like your personality. Yeah, just kind of
over easy. Not a big deal.
What kind of toast you like?
Rye.
Oh,
I'm a rye man.
You are a rye man.
I am a rye. It fits my personality perfectly.
I like Texas toast.
I like sourdough.
Yeah.
But my favorite's rye.
All right.
So.
All right.
Wait, you don't like rye bread?
No, I don't.
Why?
It's because it's awful.
No, it's not.
It tastes terrible.
It's flavorful. Do you not enjoy life? Just in general? You shotgunned all that milk, but you can't enjoy some rye bread with me?
Anyway.
No, I'm not done here. I'm mad now. You didn't even ask me what kind of eggs I like.
I already know what kind of eggs you like.
What kind of eggs do I like?
You like hard-boiled.
That was turdish, all right? That was turdish of you to say.
What kind of eggs you like?
Over medium. I don't like them as runny.
Okay.
But you know what I find?
Yeah.
When I ask for over medium,
what?
They do it over easy anyway.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're like, over medium? No.
Like
every time I ask for over medium, I get over easy.
I've never heard of over medium.
Over medium. It's like, so there's over easy, which means like they flip it, but they don't let it cook too long because you want it runny.
Yeah.
You just want it cooked on both sides.
Right.
All right. Over medium's a step further where you're trying to let the yolk solidify a little bit more, but it's a little bit runny. And then over hard is where you cook the yolks all the way through.
There you go.
Scrambled eggs.
I was going to say, you're either hard-boiled or scrambled, one of the two. Maybe you're a combination of both.
I don't like scrambled eggs. I really don't like scrambled eggs, unless it's on a breakfast sandwich. And even then, no. I want a circle egg. Give me that circle egg. You ever go to McDonald's?
Yes.
What's your favorite breakfast sandwich at McDonald's?
I don't know.
Wrong. It's McGriddle. That's the real answer.
All right. This has been
I'm
breakfast
not done
talk.
with breakfast talk.
Yes, we are.
No. What's your favorite place to get a breakfast sandwich? Tell me.
My house.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm done with breakfast
Come
talk,
on.
Steve. We're moving on.
No.
We're moving on to
No.
more important topics.
No.
We'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about jealousy.
I don't feel like I'm being heard. I think we're gonna need to bring in a therapist.
I think you've been heard enough.
I think you've gotten very arrogant now that you like flew those kids around all perfectly. I take back all my statements from the beginning of the segment. Well, who do you think you are? This is Zach and Steve. Well, I guess your name is first. Hey, when we come back, Zach gets to call the shots. We'll have the rest of our podcast, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Stick around.
We'll be back.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Zach and Steve Have a Podcast. Where we get to talk about the important stuff now and no more breakfast sandwich talk.
McGriddles.
Yeah, Stevie.
Once a year, I treat myself.
Okay.
Once a year.
Yeah, right. Once a week.
That's not true at all.
Once a year.
Once a year, I get a McGriddle.
Okay. You like it.
That's it.
Like the extra little sweetness in the bun.
Boy, that's so good. Those things cannot be good for you.
No.
That's why I only have them once a year.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like the epitome of health or anything, but
Anyway.
why isn't it pronounced epitome?
Epitome? I was like, what are you talking about?
Epitome.
No.
Why isn't it pronounced epitome, Zach?
Maybe some people do. That's like the British pronunciation.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Why do they say stuff weird over there? They invented the language. Why do we perfect it?
I don't know if we perfected it or if we
I'm
defected
I'm
it.
pretty sure we perfected it.
Yeah.
Aluminium,
Yeah. That's
oregano.
True. Yeah. That's true. We did it a lot better.
I'm pretty sure oregano sounds good.
Anyway.
Zachy.
I thought we'd talk about a topic today that maybe is something we've never talked about it before, and I think it's because people in general don't like to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to talk about, especially, I know when I was in school, and just being involved with, sports and activities where there's competition, and just in general with people, and social media, all this stuff kind of goes together, and there's something that happens that we don't talk about, and it's jealousy.
Hey, jealousy.
You gonna sing it?
Yeah.
Sing it, Stevie.
I'm gonna drive around this town, let the cops chase us around. Hey, jealousy. Hey, jealousy.
That was good.
It was not good.
That was good.
Yeah.
So do you think you struggle with jealousy, Steve?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know of anybody that doesn't struggle with jealousy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. I think it's gotten worse the older I've gotten.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it hasn't gotten better.
Well, that's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Back when I was younger, like I was proud of the fact that I would annoy people that I wasn't impressed by. By things.
Yeah.
Like, hey, good for you, man. I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah.
Good for
It's
you.
just kind of that attitude of who cares.
Yeah. I feel like it's more so now than ever. Yeah, where I'm like
Keeping up with the Joneses.
well, it's not even keeping up with Joneses. I'm not jealous of people's things or stuff. It's more of like where people are at, like
Okay.
professionally and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes I
yeah.
get jealous of that for
Yeah.
certain, and start to, in lies the danger of pushing beyond what God's call is for my life and pushing into what I want,
Yeah.
for my life, and trying to balance out being just content with the next step.
Yeah.
As as you would call it, or as you view it, or as you get told by people that are in generations ahead of you, and make you feel like you're not a real pastor.
Oh, yeah. I think, jealousy comes back to who we are at our core a lot.
Yeah.
Our insecurities, the things that we look at other people and wish that we had. And I think if there's one topic that would hit home for a teenage group of people, of listeners, it would be, hey, I'm looking at my friend and I see something that they have, that maybe they did well on a test, maybe they, are good at sports, or like we did this musical thing. There's different creative abilities of people on that stage. Mm-hmm. There's some that are the stars of the show, then there's some that are backstage, with black on so nobody can see them.
Yes.
There's difference in who is getting the recognition from the audience, right?
Yeah.
And jealousy can come from that.
Good point.
Because you desire to have what someone else has.
Yeah.
And whether that be prestige or things or just
things you're talking about, like material goods.
Yeah, material goods, or just sometimes you look at other people and wish you just had their life. They've got stuff a lot easier than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think I've often questioned why some people have it easier than others, but I don't know if I've ever longed for someone else's life.
Yeah, but I think
what do you struggle with jealousy wise?
What do I struggle with jealousy wise? I think it's the same thing with you. How you struggle with it, looking at other people and career-wise
that are ahead of you.
Yeah,
like in the place that you want to be in.
Yeah, something like that. I also, I don't know, just if I get overwhelmed with difficult situations, I look at other people that aren't in those situations and think, man, that'd be nice not to have to deal with all of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm jealous of that as much as I am just angry. I get angry at that. I'm like,
we'll do an angry talk next week. We'll talk about anger.
I think that's my. I'm just being honest. Like those kind of situations, like you're talking about, I don't get like jealous. Man, I'm like, man, I really wish I had it like them. Yeah. I'm just like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be so hard on me?
Yeah, but
is that jealousy or is that envy?
That's okay.
Are they two sides of the same coin?
They are two sides of the same coin. So we did a series back several years ago in junior high where it was called All the Feels.
Ooh.
So we looked at different do that again. Dude. It's like Tim the Tool Man.
That wasn't the same thing.
No, it wasn't.
Ooh is different than
It's like a chill going down your
back. Well, yeah. It's like a chill going down your throat.
Ooh, no, your back. Ooh. Anyway, so we called it All the Feels, and we looked at the different emotions that we have as humans. And a lot of these emotions that we feel, we don't control the immediate reaction that we have. Like anger sometimes boils up. You get frustration, you get jealousy, and it's like I don't want that feeling to come, but it happens just as humans. Like these are things that happen. So we talk about these emotions that we have, and if it's something that I don't control, that means it must be there as part of who I am as a person. Right?
Okay.
And so these emotions are given to us by God because a lot of these emotions are in God's character as well. God has anger, but he has righteous anger. We talked about today a little bit. God has jealousy. You wouldn't think God is a jealous God, but the Bible, several places. I mean,
read it.
I will read it.
The whole Bible.
One. Deuteronomy 4:24. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God.
What's the
Exodus
context?
34:14. Do not worship any other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God. Whose name is jealous. A name of God is jealous, right? Because he's jealous for his people.
Is that what Yahweh means?
It's a name of God.
Oh, I got you.
Not the name of God, but a name.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One of the names. God has several.
I wasn't trying to be smart. I was asking if like there was some sort of correlation.
I don't think
there's
so.
not. No. God has several names. I know that. Yeah. This is not my first day on the job.
Right. But so then we got some definitions here.
Good.
Some Webster definitions of the word jealousy.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. First
one.
Why
is it Webster's always the one that gets like? Are they
Merriam?
Are they the only dictionary in the world?
Wasn't it like what's the big one? Like the Oxford Merriam?
Is that one?
I don't know.
Why isn't there like Joe's dictionary?
Because no one picks that one. That doesn't sound professional.
Joe's dictionary, 15 pages.
There should be a Pittsburgh dictionary.
There's 100 words.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Crick.
Yeah, that's all in there. All right. So the first definition here. This is the one we all think of when we think of jealousy: feeling or showing envy of someone because of their achievements or advantages.
Okay.
When I think of jealousy, that's what I think of. And if you look in the Bible, the correlation would be the Dr. Seuss passage here of the 10 Commandments. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's spouse. Right? You shall. Those are that's the Bible
shall
version.
Shall not covet your neighbor's mouse
or blouse, yeah, or anything else that they have. Right? Anyway, so that's the first definition there.
What?
What?
Blouse.
Like their clothes, like the stuff they got. Their house.
If you take their blouse, you might get louse.
That's true.
Which would cause you to joust with your neighbor.
Thank you. You're good with words over there.
Anyway. I'm a wordsmith.
So that's definition number 1. Feeling or showing envy of someone because of their achievements or advantages. Number 2. Fiercely protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. And I think that would describe God. And the third definition here is zealous, very passionate.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So when you talk about God being a jealous God, it's because of his love for his people and his desire for them to love him back.
Yes.
And so he would talk in the Old Testament all the time about being jealous for the love of his people because they would be out there serving other gods, right? They would be choosing different ways instead of choosing to allow God to come in and lead them like he's called them to.
I mean, part of the reason that God created man was so that he would be worshipped.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if their worship is going any other direction, he has, like, as the creator, he has the right to be like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I gave you breath. Like, now you're worshiping a cow?
Right.
Come on. Let's get it together.
Right.
That's all I had.
That's all you had on that? All right. That's good.
Zach, I'm not gonna lie, man. Not gonna lie.
Don't lie. Hit me with it.
I got breakfast sandwiches on the brain. I should have had breakfast before we record in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't have breakfast.
And you're just hungry.
And all I could think about is that freaking McGriddle.
That's good.
That's it. That's all I got.
It's going very well.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I feel like I'm the worst teammate today. There's some days where like I feel like I could give a lot, and then there's days where I'm like, got nothing. Got nothing in the old hopper.
That's all right.
In the tank.
I'm jealous for you today.
You're jealous for me?
Yeah.
Why, you want my attention?
Today.
That makes me uncomfortable. That like sounds too intense. You're jealous for my attention? Like, you could probably go like months without me, I'm sure. Like, don't pretend.
But I guess if we're bringing it back to our topic today.
What's our topic?
No, but you said you think.
McGriddles.
No.
Jealous.
Yes. But just your response right there.
Yeah.
If we can bring it back to a little bit of a serious note here.
Yeah.
Is the response that is the heart of why we can't understand why God is jealous for people.
Yes.
You just said to me, Zach, I can't understand why you're jealous, why you would ever be jealous of what I have or what I'm bringing to the table here.
I didn't say any of that.
That's what you said. You just said that.
I said I wanted a sandwich.
Yes, but you said if I'm gone for a month, you wouldn't even know.
Oh yeah, that is not at all what you just repeated back to me.
That's the point. The point is we think we are less than what we are. We think we are not as important as what we are. And so if God is jealous for me, it doesn't compute because I'm me. And I'm not worth anything. You think if you're gone for a month, no one would even notice, right? That's the thought.
No, I mean I guess I do feel that way, but that's not jealousy.
No, but that's the way we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
So
this is a different topic.
No, it's not. It's the same topic because it's the root of why we feel jealousy.
Okay.
Because we don't see ourselves.
Oh, we seem inadequate.
We don't see ourselves as God sees us.
Oh.
That's the heart of the issue. And that's where jealousy stems from because God gives each person different abilities, gifts, characteristics, things that they're good at, things that they excel at, things that they're terrible at. I'm terrible at singing. I could never be in a musical.
That's not totally true.
Yes, it is.
I disagree.
You think I'm a good singer?
I think you sing fine. I'm not.
Where did this come from? I'm the world's worst singer.
You're not the world's worst singer.
I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
You can carry a tune. Listen, I've heard some singers.
Okay.
You're in the middle.
Okay, but I'm not good. The point is that we all have things that we're good at and not good at, right?
Okay,
and
yes.
things that we've been given. And people would look at you and want things about your life that they don't have. And people would look at me and want things about my life that I don't have. And we look at other people and say, hey, I want what they have, or I want how they have it, or we desire things that aren't of what God has given us.
Okay.
And that is the root of where jealousy comes from. And that is an affront to who God is in his loving character of us. If we don't see ourselves as God does, then we are giving less of a value and an importance to God's creation of us as people.
So you're saying even in that, it makes God jealous. You're saying jealousy can stem from that, from God, because we're not living up to the potential that he set before us, because we feel like we're inadequate as we are?
Because when we look at ourselves, we don't see a workmanship of God's hand. We don't look at the blessings that we have. We look at the things that we want. We don't see how God has worked in our life.
Yeah.
And so we desire something else. That's what the Israelites did when they were wandering in the wilderness, right?
Yeah.
They looked at the people around them. Well, they looked at the people around them and thought, hey, I want what they have.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing who they are in God, they were God's chosen people.
Yep.
Right? The God of the universe who created everything chose to love this, pick them out of all the people on earth. They were his possession, and he was jealous for them.
Yeah.
And they chose to disobey him and choose to love and worship other gods.
Well, yeah, they built an idol to worship it.
We do the same thing when we choose to not see we are God's chosen people as well, right? Christ went to the cross and died for us to become part of the kingdom of God. So everyone has this opportunity then to be the chosen people. It's not just the Israelites anymore who are the chosen people of God. It's anyone who allows Christ to come into their hearts and be redeemed. And we've become the chosen people of God. And so when we desire what other people have, God is jealous on our behalf for that, because just like in the Old Testament, when they chose false gods and idols, we are choosing, when we don't see ourselves as God does, we are choosing to not give God the honor and the love that he deserves, because
the appreciation for what he's done
in our lives, because we are seeing ourselves not as God does.
I never thought of it from that perspective. You've opened up my mind here a little bit.
You've opened up your mind a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, you like in what you're presenting here. When I think of God's jealousy, it's because our attention is not on him; it's on other things. But you're saying even the lack of appreciation for the things that he has given us, which, I mean, in essence is all part of the same thing. It's all part of the same pot. I just never looked at it from that perspective. Like when I'm not living up to my potential, when I'm not living up, or not even so much that as just appreciating the place that he's put me in.
Yeah.
Like that God would be jealous for my attention to be on the things that he is actively doing.
Yeah.
So that is wild to think about.
Yeah.
Because I mean, jealousy is such a negative attribute of people, but so when we say God is jealous, it's a weird. It is a weird thing to think about. It's a really weird thing to say.
And that's why I did those definitions, because he's not jealous in the fact that he is envious of what we have.
No, God can't be envious.
But he is fiercely protective. He is of his possessions, of what he has. He's fiercely protective. He's zealous. He's passionate. He's watchful. He's mindful. He's defensive.
Yes.
Whereas people, right? And he loves us. Jesus died for us, and we choose to wishy-wash that away.
Yeah.
Right?
Waste our time.
Yeah.
Doing things that numb.
Right.
Because in the moment it feels right. And God's like,
Right. And God's jealousy for us shows us just how valuable we are. That's the thing. It's the value that what Jesus did for us on the cross puts on each and every one of our lives, and the responsibility that gives us as humans and as followers of him, that we have a responsibility to honor that.
Yeah.
Because he gave up his life for our life. There's a value then put on each of our lives, each of the responsibility that we have as followers of him. There's a value to that. And in that, it's saying, okay, you died for me as I am, as I was in my sin, who I was as a person before I allowed Christ to come in. That's who you died for me as. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a revelatory thought. Okay, now I don't need to look around me at what everyone else has. I was found in the depths of my despair, in the depths of my sin, in my weakness, right? Mm-hmm. Bestowed upon me was the grace of an everlasting relationship with God the Father through what Jesus did on the cross. I don't need to be looking at what my friend has. I need to be looking at why I was chosen by God for this.
Yeah.
And when we do that, it's not saying I'm not good enough. I can't do this. It's saying, wow, I have value that I don't really realize I have because I am loved by God the Father. And when I don't see that, God's jealous then for who I am as he created me, not as who I think I should be when I look around me.
Dang, Zach. I wasn't expecting that.
Is that a good thing?
Well, no. I mean, what you've presented is very good. I've never given my awareness sometimes, if we're going to make this life, always coming back to life application, like how does this apply to my life? I very rarely think about how my lack of motivation is insulting to God. Yeah. When you think about it from that perspective, it's like the greatest insult that I can give to God is saying, what you gave me, I don't appreciate, and I'm just throwing it away. Even though I'm going through the motions of doing things that glorify him, and I say all the right words to glorify him and lead people in that, I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so... it really raised a ton of deeper questions too. It's like, okay, then, am I doing these things in love truly? No, I'm doing them out of obligation. Yeah. So, everything starts to unravel.
Yeah. Is this like a deep talk right now?
Yeah, I think I'm having a little bit of a existential crisis right now. I'm watching everything just unravel right in front of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, who am I? Yeah. What am I doing?
Well, I think that's a good thing. I mean, when we think about, because we talk, for us as people who are in the ministry and we talk about God all the time.
Yeah.
You would think that we'd be the closest to God.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we're not, because we talk about God all the time.
Exactly.
And because we know all the answers, and because we do it every day.
Yeah, like you just, and I hate to say the word, but like you get bored with the process.
Yeah.
It's like we're all
and it would be the same thing with whatever profession that you're in.
Exactly. And you give people the same answers. And not that they're wrong answers, they're right answers. And it's not that I'll speak for myself, that I don't lack passion about it and I don't believe it. I fully believe everything that I'm saying. There's just days where I'm like,
yeah,
is this it?
Yeah.
Is this forever? Like what's happening? I don't know. Is that like midlife crisis?
No, I think that's just.
I feel like I'm on a couch in a therapist's office right now. I got my legs kicked up.
You do. Those nice shoes you got over there, Stevie.
These are old.
Yeah, I like them.
They're real old. But the whole, those are not. They're so beat up. Anyway, thank you, Zach. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's just processing right now.
Yeah, and
this is not the right medium for processing. No. They were silent on the podcast for like 15 minutes while Steve pondered his life choices.
Yeah, but when you think about God's love for you,
yes,
when you truly understand what that means, what he did, when they talk about God being a jealous God, and that's his name, one of his names of God is he's jealous for his people, and what that means, that's a powerful thing to think about.
Yeah.
And so that can help us as followers of him to begin to see others as God loves them and not as I don't know, competition for who's going to, make someone laugh more, who's going to have a better social media presence, who's going to whatever, right? They are loved by God, going through problems just like I am, and let's walk together through these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And, you look at others, not what they have, but what God has for them. And you look at yourself by not what you don't have, but what God has for me. Mm-hmm. Because I'm valuable to God.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Yeah, I don't view myself that way a whole lot. Because I think sometimes we get into the mentality of the humble servant. Not that I'm perfect at that, not that I'm saying that I'm the epitome of that. But you just get into the process of just doing all the time and saying all the right things, and then you forget how important it is and how grateful I should be that I even have the ability and people even want to be around me and want to ask me questions. I neglect that.
Yeah.
This whole aspect of it, which is the appreciation for what it is.
Right. And we are called as Christians to humble ourselves, to think of ourselves humbly. And so there is a little bit of a difference there in thought if you're to humble yourself, but then also remember that you are valued by God. Mm-hmm. So, you're not lifting yourself up in front of others, but you're lifting yourself up to yourself. Mm. Because when you humble yourself before others, you are showing them that you love them. But when you humble yourself to yourself, that's good with pride aspect, but it's also you can lose track of who you are in God.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. How are you dealing with all of this? You present this fantastic case and it's very well put together, honestly.
Well,
how
everybody struggles with this because it's very easy to look around and see what other people have and what you want.
Yes.
And lose track of who you are.
Okay.
And the blessings that you have and the value that you have. And I do the same thing. Like I said, whenever I feel overwhelmed or I feel just I go through times where I just feel down, depressed.
Yeah.
I feel bummed about everything. It's just you just lose track of it. You lose sight of it. Mm-hmm. And it's just you just need that reminder hey, sometimes you need to refocus your focus from your problems up to the God who loves you and what he did for you.
Yeah.
And so it's just seasons where I just don't feel like you feel like you're in a rut.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like whatever, just bummed, depressed.
Yeah.
That's
when I know it well. Yeah.
That's when I just lose track of it. And the remedy is not regaining the sight, right? Regaining the reality.
Looking at gaining some perspective on what's really important, and going back to okay, God gifted me in this way, and I think the part of the problem is I'm so used to saying all the things that and even though I mean them and I know them to be true, I forget. It's you give the same answer to any equation over and over and over again. It's just the answer to the equation. You're forgetting the process by which you get to that answer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of I think for anybody not just in ministry, but any person of faith, constantly being reminded of the process by which God is sanctifying you, is redeemed you, all those things, and all that's just fancy words for God making you who he needs you to be so that you could do his work, is important. But my goodness, do I lose track of that constantly? And I'm just and you get tired, you get burnt out, you get hungry.
Right.
Like today, for example. Just hungry.
Yeah, you're thinking about breakfast sandwiches.
Really
that was what was on your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go get one here after a bit.
I'm jealous from breakfast sandwiches. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Zach. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's how can we then, to finish up here, practically take home something to help us just to see ourselves more like God does?
Yeah.
What do you think? What are some things?
Oh my. Well, yeah, I think
What if there's some things we could do?
Well, the most practical thing is if you're dealing with any level of jealousy, remove the distractions that are in your life that are causing you to be jealous. And the most obvious thing, we talk about it a lot, is social media.
Yeah.
Like, we're always looking at the lives of other people and their best moments that they're capturing, or they're trying to make us perceive as their best moments.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when those nice family pictures have a lot of like, the baby's not smiling. Whatever. Like, there's all kind of things. Then you finally get it all lined up, and then and then it's like this really perfect picture.
Yeah.
That's not painting the full picture of what's actually happening. And in that,
also maybe you stop participating, because if you go online, whatever, Instagram or whatever, and you see people's perfect pictures or whatever you're doing, someone is doing that. So if you stop doing that, then you are then not having people look at you with envy as well, because it's a two-way street here.
It is.
You look at other people, but you also kind of want other people to look at you too.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I got out of that game a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I started asking myself the question, how does this benefit? How does this really benefit anybody? I was pretty rare about posting things anyway. Zach and I are old school Facebookers. Because
we were there when Facebook started.
When it first started, and all you could do was like post,
poke people,
text. you posted some form of like quotes or something silly, and that was it.
Yeah,
you poked people, which is still
it's the weirdest
concept ever. But like that was it. When pictures started to be able to be shared, I was sharing, like, me and my buddies were doing that kind of stuff, or I think it was to the point where I was like dating, all that. Like, you start sending those pictures, but you don't even think about, like, okay, how does this affect
other people?
The people that are viewing this that aren't getting dates, that aren't having a great time, like all that kind of stuff. To the point where it's like now, I went to a concert last fall, and it was like an amazing experience. Like, I went to, I think I talked about this before, the Billy Joel concert.
Yeah.
It was like a bucket list tier, like, event for me. I've always wanted to see Billy Joel live. It was amazing. And I took a picture, and I almost posted it on Facebook, and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, what good is this going to do? Like, hey, look at me. Like, who cares? Who cares? But, like, that took a long time for me to, like, actually, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but we have to remind ourselves, like, what are we putting out into the world? How are people perceiving us? And also, if we're constantly scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, I just named all the old people apps. I don't know what young people are doing. The Be Real.
Yeah.
Be Real app.
Yeah.
Like, how real is it?
Yeah.
How real is it? How much time are we wasting on like looking at other people's perfection and then constantly questioning, why am I where I'm at?
Yeah.
And like feeling that so deep down inside of us. I think social media is the greatest evil that lives in our world today. Yeah. It could be used for good, but it's not. It really is not. So I would be wise about that. And then, like, okay, then as Zach was talking about a lot in this, and like made me question everything I'm doing right now. As I just started to stare out into the ether. I appreciate what God is doing around you right now. Appreciate where you're at. Appreciate the people that He surrounds you with, whether they're driving you insane or not, because it's your mission field. You're currently in your mission field. Wherever you're sitting listening to this, you're in your mission field. Like, what are you doing to glorify God in those things? What are you doing to take the attention off of what you need and put that attention onto other people, as the Bible calls us to, which we constantly forget? Love God and love others, and like then everything will take care of itself from there. So yeah, I mean, that's another practical step. And the next thing is, like, okay, start filling your mind with the good stuff. I'm not just talking about like reading your Bible. Like, be wise. I mean, you should read your Bible, but be wise about what you're consuming. Like, if you're consuming certain movies, certain TV shows, like all these things are presenting lives that are not close to reality.
Right.
I mean, some of them it's obvious. Some of them it's like we watch some of these like dramas and stuff, and it's like, I wish I was a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
A little more bold, and then they normalize things that shouldn't be normal. They over-sexualize things, and it gives us a perception of what our reality should be. And it's like, I wish I could have what they have. Like that's what I want for like my romantic life. That's how it should be. And it's like, you know, like the Hallmark movies are always the grand example. It's like, look how perfect that is. That's not even close to reality.
Yeah.
That is written in a script. Somebody's perceived perfect like situation. So what are we doing to remove these things from our life? Because those are the things that are making us feel like my life is awful.
Yeah.
And it's totally disrespectful to what God's doing, because we've created idols, whether we realize them or not. Like we idolize like these situations, this romanticism, this of all these things that we think are perfect, and they're all fabricated.
Yeah.
They're not real. I mean, you can go to the nth degree and even talk about like what pornography does to people, and like how that like completely disrupts what God created as something that's supposed to be beautiful and intimate between two people that have dedicated their lives to one another and love one another, and are instead just flippantly throwing it out there. And then we perceive that as that's what my sex life should look like. Mm-hmm. It's all very dangerous. What are you doing to remove those temptations from your life that you're idolizing and pulling you away from who God really is and what he wants for you? I'm off my soapbox.
Well, very good.
I don't think it was.
Yeah. Well, I think this topic is something that we've never really talked about that much before, but
no.
it
hit a nerve.
Yeah. And it comes to a lot of what we struggle with is just seeing ourselves as God does, and that we are valuable. And if I could give anything as a takeaway from it, is just that you are valuable, right? You were handmade by the creator of the universe with certain gifts, abilities. You look a certain way, you know, and remember that as you're living your life. And as we get these times where we wish we were somewhere else or someone else, you know, we all are loved and valued by God.
Yep. There's no better way to end it. So for Zach and Steve, have a podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Zach.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.